I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and get my presentation up. Let's put that in presentation mode. All right, we're all set to go. Hi, I'm Tia Rogers. I serve as the Director of Extended Learning and Educator Development in the district, and today I will be providing you with an update on the Gifted and Talented program. First, I wanted to begin with providing you with our philosophy. I shared this back in January, but I thought it would be a good entry point for my update today. The School District of Waukesha is committed to providing excellence in education for all students. The district acknowledges that students, by virtue of their outstanding abilities, are capable of high performance. The district recognizes the right of these gifted and talented students to receive educational opportunities that will complement the level of their capabilities. Therefore, appropriate programming and services will be provided to develop their particular level of giftedness. Gifted programming supports students in 5 areas: general intellectual ability, specific academic area math, creativity, leadership, and visual or performing arts. And this philosophy can be found in our Gifted and Talented program guide. So today I will be providing you with a proposal in regards to how we can make some improvements to our current Gifted and Talented program model. So first, I wanted to start with staffing. Again, when I was in front of you in January, I just provided a general overview in regards to what gifted and talented programming look like in our district. So I will go through my slides, which sharing what is the current model, and then also sharing what is my proposal for future programming. So starting with staffing, again, as I shared before, our current staffing model is there's a director who coordinates the Gifted and Talented program, and currently I'm the director that oversees Gifted and Talented programming. And we also have school psychologists, and their role is to coordinate the identification process, including testing and programming at the building level. My proposal for staffing would be to continue to have a director um, oversee and coordinate gifted and talented program. Also, continue to have school psychologists coordinate the identification process, including testing. However, I'm proposing that we bring back the gifted and talented advocates for grades 3 through 8 to coordinate the building level gifted and talented programming. So this is through my information gathering. This was a staffing model we had in place prior to some budget adjustments happening and this role being eliminated. So after speaking with the team, we felt this would be a value add to bring back these advocates to support the building level work and coordination. So the proposal would be to have one advocate at each elementary school, so that would be 12 in total. We would have 2 advocates at the middle school level, which would be 8 in total. And in years past, when we had these advocates, from the information I was able to gather, the stipend amount for this role was $1,000, paid out $500 per semester, plus included benefits. So to bring these advocates back, the estimated cost would be $22,870. So next, I would like to talk about programming. So with programming, this would be in regards to the identification process all the way through services being provided. So currently, we're responsible for the identification of students for gifted and talented. And currently, we budget for our testing materials and scoring, which again, as I mentioned, the testing is done by our school psychologists. So annually, we've estimated between $500 to $1,000 to replenish our test and supplies. So the estimated cost, I just kept the same because that's what I've budgeted in the past two budget cycles, and we've stayed within that $500 to $1,000 for replenishing test and supplies, and then also for the scoring of those test materials. What we would be proposing additionally, outside of just, of course, the testing materials and scoring, would be to bring back some of the after-school programming and enrichment activities. So again, with speaking with advocates who served in this role in the past, as well as our school psychologist who serves on our GT team, who was in her role when advocates were in the building, we were able to come up with what that programming looked like and what we would want it to continue to be. So in regards to after school programming and enrichment, we would need to purchase enrichment materials and resources, as well as something we had in the past was our advocates were also in charge of running clubs at their site. So that was part of their stipend. And they would run clubs in relation to the identification areas for students who are identified as gifted and talented. So they would have clubs focused around math, leadership, creative thinking, visual, or performing arts. So this was from what I was able to find out from past advocates. This did vary from building to building, so definitely some parameters and expectations would need to be set around the clubs, how often they would be running, and those types of things. However, just my initial estimate would be that this would be about just to get the materials and resources needed, and just thinking if we did bring back these clubs, we would be looking at an estimated cost of $5,000 annually. And also, again, through my information gathering and speaking with former building advocates at the middle school level, there used to be seminars, and these seminars were at our middle schools, and they were hosted 3 times a year, and this was per grade level. So it would be a total of 9 seminars that would go on across the school year. And this took the place of, at the middle level, of the advocates running clubs. So at the elementary level, they did more enrichment in clubs, after school clubs, and at the middle school level, it was through these seminars. So again, just getting more information in regards to cost around these seminars, what these seminars, um, what they look like, if they brought in guest speakers, if they were activity based, what would be the cost. And I was able to find out they had a budget of $1,000 per site for them to be able to carry out these seminars. So again, and when I'm referencing these dollar amounts, just to know that these dollar amounts could definitely be, we may want to consider increasing some of these amounts, because this is from the 16-17 school year. So that was the last school year that we had advocates. So there may be some adjustments, but I wanted to use those amounts as an entry point for this proposal. And lastly, we looked at professional development, and these are things that we currently have in place, with a proposal for some additional professional development needs moving forward. So we do currently have a partnership with PAGE, which is Partners for the Advancement of Gifted Education. And one of our school psychologists serves on that advocacy board, or sorry, the advocacy team, and we do pay an annual membership of $175. Then we also have a membership with the WATG, which is the Wisconsin Associated for Talented and Gifted, and this annual membership is $40, and I serve as the representative on this team. And then there is an annual conference that the Wisconsin Association for Talented and Gifted puts on annually. And the fees and hotel roughly is about $325. Some additional PD that we would like to see added back on as part of this proposal is just the advocate meeting. So if we were going to bring back the advocates, part of that advocate onboarding and training was they did meet monthly with either the director or it was a coordinator at the time that would lead that professional learning with the advocates monthly. And that would be something that we would like to see come back because that's how the advocates were staying informed about what activities were going on through these different organizations that we partner with, as well as what are their expectations and their role as the advocates in their building. So this would be something that I would like to see come back. And that would be a cost of about $1,000 annually just to have those materials and resources for those monthly meetings and trainings with the advocates. And then also, this is something more of a wish list kind of item. I have been working with CISA One. They do have a gifted and talented consultant, and they are able to provide like services to help you improve your gifted and talented programming, but they also can come in and do professional development with your staff. They can do like a systems level just audit of what we're doing and how we can improve. So just getting some initial estimates as to what, say, a systems level review audit and providing some professional development would be. I got a quote of about $3,500, but I have that asterisk there because, of course, it all depends on how often you would be having PD, and also, of course, the availability of the consultant to be able to do these things. So that's something I included. It's not a must have, but it would be a nice to have. So a summary of the costs. So right now for staffing, as I said earlier, the estimation would be about $22,870, and that total cost would be in bringing back the building advocates at the elementary and middle school level. I estimate about $10,000 in programming costs, again, to bring back some for enrichment activities as well as bringing back clubs and bringing back those seminars at the middle school level. And then professional development would be a little over $5,000. Of course, again, that's including that consultation with CISA One and their gifted and talented department over there. So in total, we would be looking at about $37,910, give or take, for bringing back some of this programming, which would be a significant increase from what is currently budgeted this past school year. So one other thing I wanted to just highlight, because I did share this back in January, was that is that there is a grant available for gifted and talented education, and the grant did just was released March 1st of this year, and it is due on April 14th. The award amount is it starts minimally at $10,000, but from the information that I've read, my understanding is that's the minimal you can receive, but you can apply and ask for more in the grant. I did just pull out a couple of things from the grant information just to highlight here, just an overview and purpose of the funding. So these funds are used to provide gifted and talented pupils those services and activities that are not ordinarily provided in regular school program. The purpose of this grant is to support systematic and continuous learning opportunities not ordinarily provided in the classroom to meet the educational needs of students with gifts and talents, grades K through 12, in the domains of general intellectual, specific academic, creativity, leadership, and or the visual and performing arts. So, so basically, this money is meant to be used to increase opportunities for students identified as gifted and talented. But one of the other things, again, as I was just reading through the information that I wanted just to highlight in regards to um, how the selection criteria is going to be and who they're going to give priority to when applying for these grants. So I did highlight here in yellow, these are the priority areas and where preference will be given to those schools and districts applying for this grant. So preference will be given to applications that focus on the use of research-based, culturally and linguistically responsive practices, tools that help reduce disproportionality in the identification of and instruction for underrepresented students in order to address the excellence gap and or advance performance. So as I shared back in January, there is a significant disproportionality between our students of color and our students who are white being identified as gifted and talented. So as I'm working through and getting information together to submit our application for Waukesha, that will be a focus of the grant, as well as to support some of the other programming that I discussed in previous slides. So I did just want to point this out, and at the bottom there is a link to the Gifted and Talented Education Program grant information. So you can pull it up and you can read through it. It's a short, there's not a lot to read, but again, it's good information there if you just want to have a better understanding of the grant and what I'll be working on in the weeks to come. So thank you for watching this presentation. I will be live at the TNL board committee on the 4th to answer any questions you may have. So if you have any questions in the meantime, please reach out, but I look forward to seeing you all in person on the 4th.